How's it going, everybody? I'm Newbie Dave, and welcome back to my Let's Play Minecraft series. Today, we're going to be doing a world tour. I know that kind of came out of nowhere. Last episode, we built this melon and pumpkin farm, and I said I was going to build something around it. But I'm jumping straight ahead to a world tour, and I have reasons for that. Stick around for the end of the episode. I've got an announcement coming up afterwards. But we are just going to go ahead and jump straight to a world tour. We're like, I don't know, I can never keep track of my episodes. I think we're like 42, 43 episodes into this world and haven't done a world tour yet. And surprisingly, nobody's asked for one. Usually people start to ask for a world tour around this point. So first of all, I guess let me apologize that it's been over a week since my last episode. I live in the U.S. and last week was a major U.S. holiday, Thanksgiving, and I took some vacation time from work, and I was just on a really nice week-long vacation, and I did nothing, and it was wonderful. So here we are. We're back, and let's kick this world tour off. Usually I like to go kind of build by build and say, you know, this is this thing that we built and this is this thing that we built, and kind of pop up like episode numbers and link to each of those different guys. This is my lazy season. I'm not doing all that. We're just going to go around and kind of just show off some of the cool stuff that we've done this season, starting with our starter base. As you can see, this is a plains village. My world spawn was right over that cliff, right over that hill over there. And to get things started, well, we did a little caving in the first episode, built a boat, started exploring the shoreline, and found this really nice village and settled right in. And then built this wall around it to kind of keep mobs out, spawn-proof it, and just kind of turned it into a nice outdoorsy campsite. And I really liked this. I liked this in this world better than a starter home, because I always struggle with a starter home. Like, I don't have a whole lot of resources to build something nice that I would like. And I don't want to just build like a really big villager house out of cobblestone and oak. But this open design, I don't know, it's really cool. I like it. I really enjoy this little starting area. And down here was our sort of crafting work site. So we had some, primitive storage, which lasted us a pretty good amount of time. I never really started to run out of storage. I had a bunch of stuff doubled up over here. But ever since I built my new storage room, then I've just kept a couple of, essentials and extra gear and stuff in case I'm over here and need some of it. But we also had a little area over here to do, some smelting for glass or stone or clay or whatever else we might need. And then our typical workstations like a grindstone, anvil. This is where I did all my netherite upgrades. So, yeah, I really enjoy this open area starter base. Originally, I think the wall came out to right here. And so this, yeah. So this was like the living space, and that was the working space. And eventually kind of pushed this wall back even further and built this really lovely enchanting room. So this building is where I've done all of my enchanting. We've got a nice little enchanting table in here with all of our bookshelves. I've got like a brewing stand down there, but for some reason I put all my potions in here and my potion making supplies. I don't know why. I think I was eventually planning on moving the brew stand in here. I don't know. But I did a lot of enchanting. I also did a lot of fishing and got a lot of enchanted books, which is why I've got some double chests full of enchanted books upstairs. But again, went with a very open sort of design to this building. Yes, it's enclosed on the bottom floor, but I really enjoy this open sort of bell tower upper half. I don't know. I think where I tend to get hung up on buildings is the walls. And having them not feel like just big, plain, flat surfaces like your villager walls over there. And so I think that's why I'm really, really taking to this sort of open architecture that I started out with. Yeah, I really like this building. I like the deep slate and the calcite, the black and white, along with the dark oak. Yeah, really good color palette. And then eventually we built our nether portal. I went with a really strange design for this. I wanted something that looked like it was sort of ripped out of an old castle or magical structure or something, and then sort of transplanted over here. And so you can't actually get to this thing from the ground. If you want to get to it, you got to climb up here, go over this way, and drop off onto a slime block that is buried in the ground and covered with moss to kind of cover it up. Or now that I've gotten elytra, I can actually glide from that platform over here, which is what I've been doing most of the time. So it is a little bit of work to get to the Nether portal, but I don't care because I don't like go in and out of the Nether 20 times a day. So whenever I do need to go, I just go. But in the meantime, it looks really cool. We've got like the chains that are holding it onto the arm, the cross beam over there. I like it. I like it. And then over here, we've got our early game crops. So I have planted all different types of crops. You know, I've got my beetroots, my carrots, my potatoes, my wheat, and I've gone back and forth between alternating like all 4 crops. And right now I've just got it all wheat. I've been growing lots and lots of wheat to breed up my cows to get lots of leather and beef. Eventually at some point, I'll probably go back to alternating rows of all 4 crops. I also ended up putting in, not on camera, I think I did this between episodes, a little automatic, what was this thing? Composter. Yeah, automatic composter. So once I harvest all this stuff, I can just throw any leftovers in there and compost it, get a bunch of bone meal, and I love using bone meal to decorate the outsides of my builds. So that's pretty much where most of my bone meal in the series has come from. Over here, we've got our early game sugarcane farm. I really like this acacia trap door to cover up the water troughs. I think I did that in my interim series, my Imaginarium series that I did between season 2 and season 3, and really liked it. I liked the blue and the orange, being able to see through the slats in the acacia trap doors to see the water. Looks really cool. I like it. I'm probably going to end up doing that again in the future, in future worlds. We've got our little arboretum tree farm over here. Never really did anything special with this. This is just where I've been growing all of my wood. I think that's kind of it for over here. I'm debating, should we go through the Nether or head over to the villager? Let's go to the villager trading hall first, because there's stuff over here. Let's put my helmet back on. So on top of this hill, we ended up with a really interesting situation where in the middle of this flower field that just seems to go on forever. I mean, this thing just keeps going in every direction. We've got this tiny little snowy biome, naturally frozen biome of some sort. I don't know what all the biomes are, but this is snow, as you can see. And so when I got some frogs, I built a little frog habitat over here. Because the color of the frogs depends on what biome the frogs are bred in. I don't remember if it's bred or mature. One of the two. Either way, I breed the frogs here, they mature here, so I get green frogs. I've got one of these little frog breeding capsule things, I don't know what to call it, in a warm biome and a hot biome. And then this is the cold biome, so I can get all 3 different color frogs, which we will get to why I've got so many different frogs later in the world tour. Keep on cruising. We've got this awesome stone generator, stone farm. Never really ended up enclosing it, which kind of stunk when it got blown up by a creeper at one point. I think that was between episodes. I was over here, and then, creeper just came, stuck up behind me, blew up right here, took out this corner, took out some of the redstone, some of the glass. Fortunately, the lava didn't spill, so it was very easy to repair. But if I were to actually build something around this, it would look better and be better protected. The idea with this is you come in here, turn this thing on, get your pickaxe, and you just whack all the stone. And the way that this thing is designed, the lava flows down onto flowing water, which gives you stone instead of cobblestone. You can use a silk touch pickaxe to get stone, or just a fortune pickaxe or a regular pickaxe to get cobblestone if that's what you want, which I've had to do a couple times. There's been times that I've just run low on cobblestone, and so I'll come over here with my fortune pickaxe and load up on cobblestone. It all goes into the hopper, which goes down here, and you just get stone and stone and stone galore. So that way you don't have to go mining for this stuff. You can just AFK, If you've got something to like hold down your action button. I don't know how you would do that on like a tablet or Xbox or something. I guess Xbox you could use a rubber band or something. I don't know. I don't know all the various AFK auto click techniques for different platforms. I play on PC. That's all I know. Since it's getting dark, let's go into the safety of our villager trading hall. This was a pretty early build. I built this thing really early because I really wanted to prioritize villager trading. I wanted to get villagers breeding. I wanted to get them locked into jobs and start trading with them. And I used this farm to do all of that. There's monsters outside. Let's see if we can sleep over here. And this was a really fun design. It worked out really, really well. I had a little bit of difficulty getting the villagers into this area to begin with, but I was eventually able to fix that. So the idea is we've got our 2 farmer villagers up here. They've got their little carrot farm up here. And so they just come around, collect all these carrots, and then we've got 10 beds down here. And this farm is far enough away from any other bed that they're not going to start breeding linked to other beds that aren't in this farm. So we've got 10 beds down here. If I kill or transport one of these villagers somewhere else, suddenly there's an empty bed. Our 2 farmer villagers, there we go, words. Our farmer villagers will breed. The baby villager, either just through wandering around or at nighttime, will slip under this fence gate, which is too low for the farmers to get through, and come downstairs to try to get to his bed, and now he is trapped because the villagers can't get back up. The reason that they are all standing on top of their beds is because they can actually reach their beds from the ground at nighttime when they're adults. When they're babies, they can't, but once they're adults, then nighttime falls, they run over to their bed, and they hop up into it to sleep, and now they can't get down. This makes it so much easier to get our villagers out, because all I need to do is just grab, I don't have one, grab a minecart like that, get up here. I usually just grab a block and like hop up onto here and just sort of nudge one of these villagers off, put him into the minecart and send him out. And then once I get him out of the farm and far enough away, the farmers will just breed a new one and he'll come and take over the bed. That way I'm not fighting over 10 villagers wandering around trying to get one of them out. It's so much more organized. It's beautiful. Hello, zombie. Goodbye, zombie. Coming outside here, I was really, really proud, if I can toot my own horn, of how I integrated this zombie villager zombifier into the villager farm. So the rails out there come outside, and there's a little T-junction here, and depending on how we flip this lever, I can either send them into the zombifier to get their prices discounted, or I can send them off to all of my other farm villager stuff over there. And then when they come down this way, we send them into the zombifier, we'll pop them out, cure them, and if we want to keep sending them around, same thing. We can just flip this thing back and forth. They'll go around and around and around as many times as we say, and then when we're done, we can send them back into the villager breeder to either just sit tight or send them back around to go off into the far beyond place over there. So this was really nice. It's just having all this right here in one place, rather than breeding your villagers, sending them somewhere else, zombifying them, sending them somewhere else, just doing it all here. One thing I skipped over because it was getting dark was my super smelter. So all of my stone that I get from this farm, if I want to turn any of it into smooth stone, then I can just come load up this hopper with up to 5 stacks, turn this thing on, and then just have it all smelt up. Not sure why that's not running right now. Probably because it's not up against the actual brick. And I think I put these cows here just to breed while I was like AFKing at the stone smelter or waiting for villagers to grow up. I didn't really use this farm a whole lot. I used it maybe 2 or 3 times. All right, cruising right along. Let's go ahead and take our little villager tramway thing here. So this was kind of fun to build. This is how I got my villagers from the villager breeder out to where I was going to use them. And I ended up locking in a bunch of villagers, getting some librarian villagers and weaponsmiths and armors and everything very, very early on, before I had a village trading hall, because I like to kind of give myself a little challenge every season, just kind of play the game differently than I normally do. And my challenge this season was to not make any diamond gear. So all of my diamond gear, my sword, my pickaxe, my shovel, all of my armor, all of that came from villagers. I think the exception is maybe my hose. I think there was one tool that I didn't get the trades from the villagers, and I just made it myself. But everything else I got from the villagers. Let's go ahead and hop out. Come back, minecart. Whatever. Don't need you. Because we passed our amazing, beautiful iron farm. This is the same iron farm design that I built in season 2. It's just so good. It's just so good. I don't think I'm ever going to make a different iron farm. I think this is my forever iron farm because it's so easy to get 20 villagers in here, or even just get 2 and just breed up the rest. Transporting villagers, it's a pain, you guys. If you can get away with not doing it as much as possible, go that route. And so they're just wandering free. You don't have to trap them into like a 1x1 block or anything. Just let them be free. And then our iron golems will spawn up top, get pushed into the kill chamber, go down below and die, and drop their sweet, sweet iron into the hoppers down there. I did have a few issues with this particular build where every now and then an iron golem will spawn out here. Don't know why. I don't know why. It's just as tall to the ceiling out here as it is in there. I'm guessing maybe I didn't extend the wood quite far enough. Maybe it needs to come out a little bit further. I don't know. So anytime I go AFK here, I go AFK up top rather than down below. That way if I see an iron golem, I can just kill them and they'll go back to spawning again. So a little work to improve this, but the overall design is really, really nice. Coming back here, we've got our amazing gold farm. This is very similar to the gold farm from last season. It's a different design, but same basic idea. You know, giant nether portals that flick on and off, spawn your zombie piglins. Main difference here is they drop down and take a lot of fall damage, so they've only got like 1 or 2 hit points left when they reach the kill chamber. That kills them off much, much, much faster. It's ridiculous how fast this thing runs. And because it runs so fast, I had to tweak the collection system over here. So we've got 4 hoppers that go into 2 different auto sorters. Rather than trying to feed everything through a single auto sorter that would just get backed up, we've got 2 different parallel auto sorters that ultimately sort into the same item collection system down here. So we've got all of our rotten flesh, all of our gold ingots, and all of our gold nuggets, and then all the swords go into this 4 smelter blast furnace. That's it, 4 blast furnace auto smelter. And then I'll just manually come grab these gold nuggets and put them over here periodically. This ladder is to get up to the back where I can reload the fuel from time to time. I really like using slabs in previous designs for auto smelters. For my gold farm, I've used like lava or coal or something, but every now and then, like some rotten flesh or a gold nugget or something gets through and clogs up the smokers. And so having something that burns really, really quickly and only can smelt 1 or 2 things is actually really nice, because then you don't end up wasting a ton of fuel on something that can't smelt. Like if there's a lava bucket and you smelt 3 things and then it gets clogged, you're wasting 97 things worth of smelting on the lava bucket before it goes out and you realize that it's not smelting anymore. So yeah, sticks, planks, slabs, really good fuel source for that. All right, let's head back over here to our floating fortress of villager solitude. So this is our villager trading hall. We've got all of our farmers. A lot of these guys on the bottom are really just for getting lots and lots of emeralds. You can see I discounted all their prices, but not everything down to 1, just because I don't need to, not across the board. So selling iron ingots to get emeralds. So yeah, a lot of this stuff is for emeralds, but also this is, like I said earlier, where I got my diamond gear and my diamond tools and weapons. And then the rest of this stuff is for emeralds. And then I've got my librarians up top. So we've got protection 4, we've got efficiency 4, unbreaking, mending, looting, just a bunch of different enchanted books. I did a lot of enchanting on my enchantment table early on, but then I started rolling a bunch of librarians for all the rest. So this is one of those things that it's really, really good on a server where you've got lots of players that can take advantage of it. Personally, on a single player world, this is a whole lot of work for something that I pretty much use once and then I'm kind of done. So it's still nice. It's a good thing to build. Continuing on this way, this is kind of base 2.0. So eventually I expanded, or not really expand, but moved into this nice little cove over here, built like this little harbor. I had planned on eventually building one or more boats, but I don't know how to make a good boat. I didn't want to just straight up rip off someone else's boat design, so I never built a boat, but that's what it's for. If you're good at building boats, you can build some boats in here. Outside, we've got this massive semi-auto sugarcane farm. So there's a button we can press inside that ejects all the pistons, breaks the sugarcane, launches a hopper minecart that picks everything up and delivers it back to the chest inside. And then we built this beautiful multi-tier waterfall on the outside of this thing. So we've got a nice pond up top that flows down the front, but also goes down the side into this second little perch where it then flows down this way. Just a beautiful, beautiful decoration on the outside of this. This used to just be a boring, flat stone cliff, and we transformed it into something absolutely gorgeous. I love doing that sort of terraforming in my worlds. That's probably where I spend most of my time in my private single-player worlds. Coming inside, this is our new storage room. So once I moved my base over to this area, built this really nice multi-level storage room. Got plenty of storage on both sides. Never ended up fully using it. Still got a couple of empty slots. Labeled all of my item frames. Somebody asked about this either in the comments or Discord, I don't remember, about how do you get the names on them. You just name the item that you put in the item frame, and then when you put it in the item frame, you can look at it and you get the name. And I learned this relatively recently. Where did I do this? You can use the symbol that adds color to text. Oh, I think I did it on my hoe. Where is it? Yeah. So you can make color text. That's really cool. You can use color text for the names of things, and then when you put it in the item frame, you get color text when you look at the item frame. So that's really nifty. So yeah, storage room, bed. We've got our second frog enclosure over here because this is I believe, warm biome. And then over here, we've got this beautiful library that actually serves a secret purpose. So if we rotate these things over here like so, we get a secret storage chest behind the bookshelf. Lots of, not lots, but just some fancy redstone circuitry behind the wall to make all this work. Highly recommend that video. It's really cool, especially if you're playing on a multiplayer world, to have like a little private stash that people can't find. This is that the semi-manual sugarcane farm trigger system. And then for some reason we got 2 dragon eggs. Yeah, I killed the dragon twice and I got a dragon egg each time. So I moved the first one over to this base and just decided to add them in as decoration because that's kind of cool. All right, now let's head over into the Nether. So I got another portal in the back of my base here. And I'd spent a lot of time just digging out this huge area in the Nether. It was never my intention to build a giant Nether base. I originally just had a hallway that led from this Nether portal down and then took a 90-degree turn to that Nether portal. And I was going back and forth between the two so often, I was like, you know what, let me just cut a diagonal path that's shorter. And then every time I would go back and forth, I would just kind of dig out some more of the path and expanded it more and more. And ended up with an area that's like a quarter of the size it is now. And I was like, this would actually be pretty cool. Just keep going. So I just kept going. I kept expanding it, raised the ceiling even higher, put in another super smelter to smelt all of the netherrack into nether bricks so that I can make nether brick blocks, which I then used to slab over this whole area so we wouldn't get endermen and piglins spawning all over the place. And then at some point just threw in a couple of auto farms. Well, I guess not auto farms, manual farms. Bamboo, hit the button, breaks all the bamboo, and just go around and collect it. Put it in the chest when we're done. And then nether wart and the two different types of vines, again, manually harvested. This was because as I was spending a bunch of time out here, just hollowing this place out, waiting for bricks to smelt, slabbing this thing over, I was like, well, might as well have stuff growing. So why not? This is also why I put in a cow farm over here. I was spending so much time in the nether. I was like, well, let's breed some cows. And then we've got our absolutely ridiculous piglin bartering farm. So this thing is just beautiful. You take a stack of gold nuggets, flick this thing on, which makes this gold block pop in and out, throw that on the ground, and just get massive loot. There is a manual transfer process of moving all this stuff to the auto sorter, because there is no auto sorter that can possibly keep up with the absolutely ridiculous rates of this thing. I think, yeah, this is safe. I'm really glad that's safe, because there's enough piglins in there that they could have just like taken me out really fast. But yeah, this is completely safe to just kind of stand over here, as long as they're all using melee weapons. I found out the hard way, if any of them have crossbows, they can shoot you. Alright, so all this stuff gets auto-sorted down into this little storage room down here. So all of our string, ender pearls, blackstone, so on and so forth. And then all the non-stacking stuff like the fire resistance potions and soul speed boots and enchanted books and stuff will end up over here. Why are all my arrows? Oh, I didn't make one for arrows. That's what this was for. I had one left over and I was like, what goes here? Arrows. Okay, well, I'll have to fix that at some point. If we go around that way, that will eventually lead us to the nether portal that takes us to the stronghold to get to the end. I'm not going to go... Oh, no, I will. I forgot I actually built something in the end this season. I was thinking there's not really anything to show in the end, so we're not going to go there. But there is. There is. So there was a pretty significant update at some point. One of my favorite exploits in the game got patched, and I was so sad because the super easy wither trap to just automatically kill the wither under the central pedestal in the end, yeah, that got patched and it didn't work anymore. And I don't want to fight the wither. I hate fighting the wither so much. But fortunately, some other much smarter nerds out there found a new way to build a wither trap. Unfortunately, it's much more complicated, as you can see. But we eventually did get this built and tested it, and it does work. So we'll come over here and take a look at this. So it is a little more precarious because you have to build this around one of the end gateways that takes you to the outer islands. And let me come up here so we can get a better view of this thing. Basically, you build this little, it's not even a structure. You end up building the wither T-frame against that end stone, which will cause it to summon inside that gateway. The trick here was we had to get rid of the actual gateway block using the, I think it was warped mushrooms. We just had to grow them underneath this thing over and over and over. And eventually it replaced the block in the middle, and that end gateway frame is now gone. And so we can summon the wither, get stuck in the bedrock, and dies. The reason we have this huge structure around it is because, unlike the much nicer wither trap we used to build in the central pedestal, this wither can still shoot his exploding skulls in all directions, which will not only add lag to your server since they never despawn if they go flying out into the void, but they will also just utterly destroy your central island out there, which I don't like. So we built this giant box around it and put in a bunch of water sources that flow down, and so the water absorbs the explosion. So the skulls go shooting off and they hit all of this warped nylium, but the water, they explode in the water. And I think it's a Bedrock feature. I think that's true, that an explosion in the water does no damage, so it doesn't destroy the blocks. And so I call it the force field. The water force field just absorbs all of the exploding skulls, and you just wait for the wither to die. The Wither Star might drop inside the bedrock, but it might fall down, so you want to build this little platform underneath it to catch it. And that is our new Wither Trap. It looks really, really cool. I'm not going to lie. It's just a little bit frustrating how much more complicated it has to be than our old one. But I do like it. All right, let's head back to the overworld. And I think that's it. Did we cover everything? We got our gold farm, our iron farm, villager trading hall, all of our original builds. There's another little frog enclosure over there, but I'm not gonna go explore that because it's just a thing over there. That's just like the thing over there and the thing over there. So I think that's everything we've built. I did eventually at some point go explore 2 ocean monuments, but I didn't do anything with them. I explored them to get the sponges, but I didn't like drain them or build anything. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's going to wrap up the world tour. So with that, I guess we will wrap things up here. And like I said earlier, I've got a very important announcement to make, so stick around for that. So when I started this channel a little over 2 years ago, it was always my intention for this to really just be, a hobby, something that I do for fun. And when I hit 1,000 subscribers, it became a little bit more serious of a hobby. I figured if this many people are going to support me, I need to put some effort into it. I need to make sure I'm delivering good quality content. But it was still always meant to be a hobby. I never wanted to take this thing, too seriously. Never intended for this to become like a new career or anything. Never really spent a whole lot of time promoting or advertising or trying to grow the channel. I've just been having fun playing games, you guys, and I have absolutely enjoyed every minute of it. But I think the time has come for me to finally wrap up this channel and, take that step to the next thing in my life. I want to be very clear that this is not in response to something. Nothing happened. Nothing bad has happened. It's not like there was some drama with people in the comments or issues with YouTube demonetizing or anything like that. It's just time. I enjoy doing a lot of different things in my life. I've picked up hobbies. I've done things for a while and then I move on to new hobbies. And so this is it's just time. And so thank you all so much for joining me on this journey, for supporting me through all of these various very amateurish episodes, and for being so kind and supportive in the comments. I've learned a lot from some of the very helpful comments and feedback that people have provided. I've made a lot of new friends on Discord, and I thank you for every single moment of this experience. I will be keeping the channel alive. I'm not going to delete anything, so all of my episodes, all of my playlists, they'll still be there for you to enjoy. And my Discord server is also going to remain active. And so I am on Discord every single day. I've made a lot of new friends because of this channel, and I love hanging out with you guys. And I would love to have more people join the server and become part of that community. So feel free, the link for my Discord server is in the video description. Feel free to hop on and join the community over there. I will occasionally stream other games. Sometimes I play Minecraft, sometimes I play lots of different stuff, and I'll stream those from time to time on Discord. Nothing scheduled, nothing official, just hanging out. But thank you once again to everybody for the love, for the support, for the encouraging comments, and for being such a great community. Take care, you guys.